I stayed up all goddamn night. It's after 7. And I did so. I stayed up all night just hoping to find something tangible. Something that I can print out and show my roommate, you know. I mean, I can't believe he tells his landlord the normal thing since it's the middle of the month. You know, Laura and I are going to be out by the end of June, and his roommate not only said, can you make it sooner, but also was like being snide and saying, you know, you weren't even supposed to have a roommate, and I told you he had a roommate before. He's just he wants us out of here, and he said, and then he goes, you know, I could throw out right now if I wanted to. You know, I know that my roommate, he's getting rid of the washer and dryer that he has on rent by next week. I wanted to find something that stated that we could, that even if he wouldn't do that, you know, that I could say, look, he can't force us to leave before the end of June. I'm not going to be able to find a fucking place, especially when I'm panicking in 2 fucking weeks. And I shouldn't have to. It's the middle of the month. I already paid this month's rent. It should be that we pay the next month. But because he gave him a hard time, he wants to leave. He could just go live with his girlfriend. Why wouldn't he want to leave? You know? Why would he want to pay the rent when he can go live with his girlfriend, you know? So I get fucked over. I couldn't find anything. I'm trying to find something that would prove. I couldn't find anything. I even went to a law site, and the editor, who, I mean, this is not a law site, said if you don't have an agreement specifically with the landlord, yeah, he can just throw you. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was reading. But I wanted to find something on these laws. I looked all night long and could not find anything specifically in regards to the roommate of a tenant at will in Massachusetts. I typed it in and I couldn't find anything specific to that. Like I said, that one thing where someone was asking something similar, and the guy wasn't some Joe Schmo off the street. He said it was a law thing, and it said ask law questions, and he was the editor, and he's saying, I couldn't believe what I was reading. He's like, I mean, what? We have no rights? What if my roommate was just a total asshole and just moves and would choose to move out? You know, telling me if he was telling me, you know, basically he is, but he's doing it nicely, you know, he wants us out of here by the end of the month. So could his landlord then, if I was here, just go get the police and escort me off the property when I've been paying rent for 4 months? I mean, I don't get this. You know, I have proof that I was paying rent. Why did that asshole even have to say such a thing? When my roommate who's lived here for fucking 5 years says we'll be out by the end of June, he said, okay, he should have said, okay. That's the thing that you do. You've already paid the rent this month. It's not, you know, and 30 days would be the middle of June, and that doesn't make any sense. And I'm reading this stuff, and it says, well, it's whatever, it's 30 days or whatever, because apparently in some states it is that it would be 30 days from whatever day. It's a day-to-day thing. So if you give notice, if the landlord gives us notice on the 15th, it would be to the 15th of the next month. And then other thing says no, it's whatever's longer than the rental. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I just want it to the end of June. And I was really trying to find something that would prove to me that I can legally stay here until the end of June. Or that he, you know, obviously I can't pay the rent because my roommate, you know. I said to my roommate, so he has to at least give us 30 days, right? So he would have to So what would we pay half the, would you pay half the rent this coming month? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. I know he's just, I don't know what he's thinking. He's getting rid of the washer and dryer next week. I don't know why he's doing that so soon. I think what is it, wishful thinking? I'm not just going to take anything. I'm not just going to move out and just take any fucking thing. Fuck the landlord. But I want to make sure they can't just go get the police. You wouldn't think. I thought, I've been paying rent here. But usually, even if you're not paying rent, if you live somewhere for at least 30 days, they have to go through the courts to get you out. And I'm reading some bullshit, but a lot of times lawyers don't even know, and they're saying, no, they can just go and get, they can bypass those channels. I just don't get it. But my common sense tells me what I couldn't find. I typed in, what are the legal rights if I am the roommate of a tenant at will in Massachusetts, and I couldn't find exactly what I wanted to print out and show to my roommate. I don't understand. I would think that legally I could stay here till the end of June, and if he chose to move out and I can't pay the rent, well, I mean, am I just at the mercy of my roommate if he was a total asshole? Maybe I am, because I don't have any agreement with the landlord. He seems to think, he said it, I could just throw it right now if I wanted to, like I'm a trespasser. And I read something where someone's actually saying, if you don't have a room agreement with the landlord, then you're just considered a long-time guest, and the landlord can escort you. You can have you escort. I just can't believe this shit. I cannot believe this is happening to me, and I don't understand. I thought if I stayed up all fucking night, I would find proof of what my common sense tells me should be the truth. Anyway, I wrote this to my friend, and then to my friend, I just posted this out on Yahoo Answers. I sent it to Joe, and I sent it to one of my online YouTube friends. My common sense tells me, but I'm even reading people who aren't Joe Schmaltz, who are supposed to be like experts, saying, no, you don't, you're landlord, because if you don't have any kind of agreement with him, he can just consider you a long-time guest, and, like, are you kidding me? Then he's trying to tell my roommate, you're not even supposed to have a roommate. Yeah. There's I asked my roommate, there's no agreement. There's no lease. I don't even know if they have any kind of lease signed agreement. I don't know. But even if that was the case, that he wasn't supposed to have a roommate, I moved in here in good faith and paid rent. You know what I mean? I would think, my common sense tells me, but my heart is pounding, that the landlord could never just have me call the police and have me escorted, leave, or force me to leave. I could throw her right now. I would think that couldn't be the case. I would think. But then I can't find any tangible stuff on the internet specifically for Massachusetts. I found it for New York, but not for Massachusetts. And every state is different, To my friend, I just posted this out on Yahoo Answers. The prick landlord thinks he can just throw me out without giving me any notice, and I need to know my legal rights, so if you know things I'm unaware of, please let me know, so long as you are 100% certain and not just assuming something is true. In Massachusetts, can the landlord of the, this is Yahoo Answers, in the Massachusetts, can the landlord of the tenant at will I rented a room from legally kick me out without giving me 30 days notice? What are my rights? I haven't done anything wrong, and I've been living here and paying rent to my roommate I said 3, but it's really 4. I forgot that I gave him double, like right up front for February and March. For 4 months now, something the landlord who lives right next door was fully aware of. My roommate, a person whom I get along great with and really like, has lived in this apartment for 5 years and has always been a tenant at will. My roommate suspected that his landlord, who was refusing to be upfront with my roommate, secretly wanted my roommate out of here, perhaps so family members of the landlord could move in. So when I indicated that I intended to move out solely because my dog was having serious problems with my roommate's dog, my roommate decided that rather than go through the aggravation of trying to find a new roommate, perhaps it was time for him and his dog to also start looking for a new place to live. When my roommate called his landlord in order to let his landlord know that my roommate and I intended to be out of here by the end of June, and as an aside, my roommate never imagined the reaction his landlord gave him. I know he was shocked because when he told me, called me up on the phone, he told me, and I intend to be out here by the end of June. The landlord replied in a hostile manner, "Can you make it sooner?" The landlord also gave my roommate some bullshit about how my roommate, who had a roommate before, wasn't supposed to have me living here, hadn't informed the landlord I was moving in, etc. According to my roommate, whom I believe, he did tell his landlord that I was moving in, and his landlord simply forgot. But in any case, I've been paying rent and receiving mail here for 4 months, because I know that despite what he snidely indicated to the contrary, the landlord can't just throw me out. And also, I was reading stuff about, but again, I couldn't find things specific to Massachusetts, but I found other states, where you don't have to have your landlord's permission to have a roommate. You can have a certain amount. You can have like a family member and one non-family, something or other like that, So he's just throwing bullshit around. He's throwing bullshit around to try, and my roommate's probably swallowing it, because my roommate didn't say, you can't do that, Barry. He basically was saying, when he said I could just throw her out if I wanted to. No, my roommate's like, kind of pleading with him. She's my roommate, but you shouldn't have to plead with them. I want legal. I want proof that I can point out and show him, because I cannot imagine, especially when I know apparently Massachusetts has the strongest in favor of tenants, really strong. I can't imagine that I'm considered a subtenant. That's what I found out, that I don't have, certain rights, at least that the landlord can't throw me out. Even they would have to evict me, even if my roommate was an asshole who decided to move out in 2 weeks. But I don't know. It's like, he thinks he can, obviously, because he said it, because that's what he thinks, because I'm not because he had no agreement with me. And then I go on the internet, and some editor of some law thing said the same thing. Well, you don't have an agreement with, not to me, but to someone else. You don't have an agreement with the landlord. You can be considered just a long-term guest, and he can throw you out. Not go through the proper procedures and just throw you out. You've got to fucking be kidding me, I feel like I'm being sideswiped here, and since I moved in here in good faith, I wanted to make sure that the landlord is at the very least required by law to give me 30 days notice to leave. Equals my roommate can simply pack up his stuff and move in with his girlfriend, but I have to actually find a new place for me and my dog to live, and it's highly unlikely that I'll be able to find a new place to live in just 2 weeks, so I'm praying that the law is on my side. Because if I find the law is on my side, and I can give tangible proof to my roommate, he can present it to his landlord, and instantly, I have until the end of June, like I should have from the beginning, Update to a woman who, she said what I believed, but, she's not some lawyer, To Claudia, the landlord wants my roommate and I out of here before the end of June, but I simply wish to make sure that the landlord can't force me to leave by the end of this month, My my roommate is on my side in this, but it makes me sick that my roommate's landlord actually said to my roommate, I could throw her out right now if I wanted to. And for what I know about eviction procedures and whatnot, I really don't believe that what this landlord believes is the truth. But I don't know for sure, and I couldn't find anything. I was up all night looking. Oh my God. Update 3. I had really hoped to have until the end of June to find a new place for me and my dog to live, but even though I intend to, as I promised my roommate I would do, try very hard to find a place and move out by the end of this month, a mere 2 weeks from now, I still desperately need to know what my rights are under Massachusetts law, since I do not trust that this landlord who knows that it's me rather than his tenant, my roommate, who is causing the delay, won't try to force me to move out sooner than 30 days from now. So he knows my roommate can be out of here like that. It's me that needs a place to stay. So he can try to say, you know what I mean? He can do anything if I don't find out what my rights are. I couldn't. I tried all night. I spent hours and I still didn't get, So I wrote this, and I'll see if I get a reply back. To a free online lawyer. I am the subtenant of a tenant at will. Last February, my roommate responded to my ad looking for a roommate. Because I wrote him something, and he's like, well, I don't have enough to go by, so I've sent him an email, and I'm giving him more. And I would think that no matter what, my roommate's landlord could never just throw me out. I moved into this apartment in good faith, and I have proof that I've been paying rent to my roommate every month for the past 4 months. Equals, I would think that even if my roommate was a total asshole, even if my roommate moved out before me, something I hoped he wouldn't do, his landlord would have to go through the courts to evict me. I haven't caused any trouble, and I don't want to cause trouble now, but it's highly unlikely that I'll be able to find a place to move out within the next 2 weeks, something I know the landlord wishes that both my roommate and I would do. The question I desperately need answered is whether or not my roommate's landlord has a legal leg to stand on in regards to the following declarations he made to my roommate. You're not even supposed to have a roommate, and I could throw her out right now if I wanted to. Don't subtenants have rights? And if the landlord has to give my roommate 30 days notice, wouldn't that notice have to be given on the 1st of June when the rent was due? Can my roommate's landlord force me to move out by the end of this month like he wants me to do? Don't subtenants also have rights in Massachusetts? And if they don't, then what the fuck? Maybe not. When I moved in, I didn't even know that he doesn't have a lease with his landlord. How would I know that? I didn't know what he was paying. I didn't know he had a lease. I didn't know any of it. But I still feel, just from what I know, just of life and stuff, I don't think I've been living here. I believe after 30 days it wouldn't even matter if I wasn't paying rent. It wouldn't even matter if I was this guy's girlfriend. I believe that after 30 days, they have to go through the courts. They cannot just call a policeman and say, get her out of here, she's trespassing. But I need to find that kind of proof from Massachusetts on the internet. I couldn't. I tried. I've been reading stuff all goddamn fucking night. It's like 7:30 now in the morning. I didn't sleep. And I'm gonna hope that I can sleep now. I'm gonna try. But I'm not going to berate myself because I was doing something very important, and I tried to go to bed at I think at 5, and then I was like, God, I just want to know. Of course, I didn't have the answers. People are not, necessarily experts, and sometimes assholes intentionally answer just to get a rise out of you. Like a guy wrote, no, you have no rights, pack up your stuff and go to the mission or some such shit. But I thought if I looked at everything all night long, I would find something I could actually copy, paste, and print out to show my roommate. say, I don't want to fuck you over, but you know what, this isn't right, and we should both have to the end of June, period. And regardless of whether he's hostile towards you and he wants you out and me out, and you don't want to stay here because you have someplace to go and I don't. That's the bottom line. But if I don't have something tangible to show him, then he doesn't have to believe me, you know? And even my friend was saying what she believes is the truth. It doesn't mean it is the truth. I need something online, and I looked and couldn't find shit. Looked. Oh, I found plenty of things for the ones who have leases, or even the tenants at will, but not the roommate of a tenant at will. You know, what rights do I, as a roommate of a tenant at will in Massachusetts, have? Please